The definition of a holistic view is that all aspects of people's needs, psychological, physical, and social, should be taken into account and seen as a whole. Holistic relationships is leading the charge and sparking real conversations that transcend the ordinary, aiming not only to explore life's intricate facets, but also to inspire positive change and cultivate better approaches to every topic we touch. In the realm of love and relationships, marriage and divorce, parenting struggles and single parenting triumphs, toxic relationships, and the liberating journey out of codependency, our goal is crystal clear. We are architects of change, crafting blueprints for better, more holistic relationships that stand the test of time. This isn't just a show or podcast. It is a movement. Each show is an invitation to recalibrate one's perspective, to rethink conventional norms, and to embark on a journey towards a more fulfilling life. From the nuanced dance of co-parenting to the empowering pursuit of self-confidence, we are here to guide you towards positive transformation, empowerment of self and others, setting goals, building legacies, and collecting fortune with purpose. Holistic relationships is more than a show, it's a philosophy. We navigate the complex terrain of aging gracefully and achieving optimal health and weight loss, shedding light on compatibility in relationships and imparting wisdom on the art of dating and courtship. Join us as we forge a community committed to positive change, where every conversation is a catalyst for growth, every revelation is a step towards understanding, and every piece of advice is a key to unlocking a more holistic and fulfilling life. Welcome to Holistic Relationships, where the pursuit of better, more meaningful connections begin, and positive change is not just encouraged, but celebrated. I'm just going to do it like that. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's Holistic Relationships. And I'm going to add on to the stage all of the people that are part. We are here today at Hawaii Fluid Art for this show. What would you recommend for this? I don't know what I got here. Is it just my volume?
Someone's volume on the phone or computer.
All right. This sounds better, actually. It was my computer. It's okay. It's okay. I'm still learning. I'm not a producer. I'm a doctor. I don't do that. So, well, we are here, and I'm here with the owner, and we're just so grateful for you to just allow us to have this conversation tonight inside of your shop. Please tell us about it. We're going to take a few minutes to talk about Hawaii Fluid Art for a second, and I do not want to mess up your introduction. I want you to introduce yourself to everybody first. So just tell us about the vision, the place, how long you've been here, and what happens here, and how people can find you.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, thank you for coming. I'm Patrice. I'm one of the owners of Hawaii Fluid Art, and we teach paint pouring classes. We take all ages, all abilities. You have to have no skill to learn here. If you're not a painter or not artistic, we can definitely help you. We have 4 years old to 104, and we teach a variety of the classes that are behind us. We also support local artists. So about 40% of everything that you see in our retail is supported by the local artists that make it. They are consigned art, and they get the majority of the percentage, so they get to have control over what they're actually taking home. And we give them a great platform. So we teach classes. We're open 7 days a week. We open at 11 a.m. every day, and you can book online at Hawaii Fluid Art, and we are the Tinley Park location. And you can walk in. We have group discounts. We are great for birthday parties, all ages. We have BYOB, which is very popular for date night or ladies' nights out. We actually had a pro night out the other day, and they brought a couple drinks. They made something for their other half, and then they went down and had pizza down the way. We worked with all the neighbors. So it was a lot of fun. We started this, we've been open a year in June. And it's been absolutely wonderful. It's very empowering to show people how to make art, that it's not intimidating, and there's no wrong way to do it. It's for painting, so it doesn't take fine motor skills, and we just have really caused a lot more joy for ourselves than we realized when we opened this. And it's been so wonderful to see the smiles and families getting out and making memories again. That's been wonderful. So thank you for this opportunity, and we're so glad we get to share our beautiful studio.
Thank you so much. Please tell the viewers how to find you physically and online.
So we are at 172nd Oak Park Avenue in Tinley Park. We are right across from the VFW Hall. So we are at 104, but you'll be able to see us from the street. So you can come every day. And then we are online at hawaiifluidart.com, and you can book online. It will show you all the varieties of the different classes that we have. We have painting, we have resin art, you can make tumblers, you can make mosaic. We have all different kinds of beautiful art projects.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay, everyone. So we're going to move in with our topic for today. We are continuing that conversation on the Type 4 experience. I hope everyone is checked in at Dr. Shantae RX. I'm checking my social feeds to make sure everything is live. Did everybody else check in? We all did. Oh, this is why I like. See, this is why I like it. I love it. Already on. Great, great. So we're just continuing. Yes, absolutely. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody got to check in? Well, I usually just, no, I can't even improvise there. I can't. So basically, because we're actually streaming on multiple platforms. So we're on YouTube, we're on LinkedIn, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. As soon as I figure out TikTok, we'll be there the following week. So we are on multiple platforms. And let me get this echo out of my own ear for a second. So again, we are continuing the conversation on the Type 4 experience. It launched this past Juneteenth. And we're talking about Type 4 hair, natural afro, kinky, curly hair. It's big, it's curly with a K. It can't be tamed. So we are talking about the Type 4 experience. And tonight's conversation, the angle is on dating. Yeah, we've done that a couple times, right, in our lives. We've dated. And what am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about from the experience of how we knew ourselves before transitioning to natural hair. Maybe we had perms or so as we were doing something else, but we were not walking in our own glory, our natural hair, our men or whomever you choose to date. They don't know what we look like. So when you're transitioning and then you go out on a date or you're noticing things. I noticed when I was going through my transition how the attention, it was still there, but not quite the same as when my hair was sleek and straight and the wand curl look that I loved so much. I noticed little things with that, and then it made me go back to that look and not stick with it. So that's what the conversation is about. And I want you all to join in, comment, share your experience, keep the conversations going, because this is a conversation within and between the culture. We have to have these conversations. And so, of course, I'm going to think of more things as we come, but I want to reintroduce one of our panelists from the launch, the Juneteenth launch. Miss LaDonna Ray is here from the LaDonna Ray Show. So she is back by popular request. And so she is back. And she's here to share some stories with her, and she has a guest with us because, yes, stay tuned for the Type 4 experience, the men's conversation. So that's coming next. So it's really nice. Most men, when I ask them to join the panel, they go, I don't know that I can contribute. Oh, you have a type 4 experience as well. You just don't know it. So when you start hearing us speak to it, some childhood memories, some teenage memories, it's going to come back. Just as it did with one of our panelists, Roland, when he was talking about that Esther, he was trying to put his head back in the day. So you have a type 4 experience. So we're going to just get on into the conversation. And I have Miss LaDonna Ray with me. And I am going to share this stage here because here we already know my type 4 experience is in the book. I have all of the links at drshantaerx.com. I am on every social media platform just about at Dr. Shantae RX, no space, all lowercase. You can find me. But I'm also going to drop that into the chat throughout the conversation so you guys will know how to find me online, how to join the mailing list, and how to find the book, The Type 4 Experience, which is available at Amazon as an ebook and a paperback. We're going to jump on in. We were talking before, and you got some stories, girl, so I want the viewers to hear this. I'm excited for them to learn and whatever else you guys got to surprise we have today with your guests. So
Yeah,
let's turn this on over to you all.
this is so funny because the type 4 experience, the stories that we talked about, there have been more stories since then. I mean, they just keep coming.
I love it. I love it.
There's a total epidemic going on when it comes to the Black woman and her hair. I think that we have been so separated from it that we don't recognize ourselves when we do bust out with our own tresses. I saw a post, actually, that's why I said the stories just keep happening. I saw a post maybe a few days ago where someone had shown a woman who had, well, they went too far with it. She had a missing leg, but she had on a waist trainer. She had taken her wig off. Her face was on the floor. Everything, lashes, everything was just not her. And she seemed to look so sad and defeated when she saw the real her. And we need to really change that expectation because we get so used to not appreciating our own appendages. I'm a beauty school dropout, by the way. Our appendages of the skin, which means our own lashes, our own nails, our own hair. That is like, okay, who are you? But for me, I experienced different treatment because of the way I wear my hair, different expectations, different conversations based on how I wear my hair. It just keeps going. I've recently found that the embracing of the natural hair just recently, I mean, this is what, 10 years now, maybe 15? I wouldn't go more than that. Everybody was going natural. To me, that sounds ridiculous. Going natural? I mean, coming back natural? You know what I mean? But in going natural, more people are receptive to it. And I see it and I'm like, okay, I've been natural for a while, but I also weaved it up until a few years ago. Absolutely.
Yes, and I mean, again, you're triggering things just from my own memory when I would think about, and I say this also, I detail this in the book when I went natural in 2008. But I didn't go natural. I just stopped getting perms, and I was wearing sew-ins, and I was going and getting those sew-ins in and out, and that takedown, and then you're looking at yourself in the mirror like, ugh. So it's trying to normalize the look and finding your swag with this, finding you in the look. That is the journey with this. How do you want to look? And the thing is, regardless if you wear the afro, that Angela Davis 1970s afro, or if you decide to lock it, or if you want to do the kinky straight look, or if you want to do some twist outs or braid outs, the thing is, they're still all you. It's still all you. And a lot of times, even in some of the forums that I went to, because I would join all these different groups, and there was also this thing where if you didn't wear the natural, like if you didn't wear the afro, you wouldn't have been considered, oh, you're not really natural. Like you're pseudo, natural with that. And so that's something, it's about normalizing the look, getting comfortable under your own skin, going out every day with it, regardless of the treatment, and allowing people to start to see you as you are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I look at a lot of situations where our women are running to, have you ever seen I don't want to bring up you know, who are addicted to anything in a negative way. But someone who is addicted to something, it could be gambling, it could be alcohol, drugs. I think that when we as women are addicted to those types of accessories, adornments, that when it comes down, we are in a hurry. I used to didn't take my hair down until that appointment was like, it had to be within 3 hours. Like I would show up and my hair wasn't all the way down just because I didn't want anybody to see me. You know what I'm saying? Right, in
I
between.
used to go to the appointment and to take down
And to
half
take
the hair,
down
so
half the
I
hair.
got there and spent the
Yes,
night there
man.
to be able to get
It's the slumber party,
Yes.
okay? But, well, I had kids, so they couldn't go. But anyway, my point is, I'd be taken down in the car. It's just horrible. And I realized that, you know, we run to it, and we used to call even the perms liquid crack. We used to, and now the hair is the synthetic crack, if you will. It has to be in our head. I'm freely saying that, yes, I've added a few extended pieces, but because I wanted to, not because I had to. Because I will braid it back and keep it moving. You see? Now that doesn't make me better than anybody that wears wigs, weaves, synthetic hair. I think what the point that we want to make here today, any day, especially in this book, is how to love who you are regardless. Period. Because that's you. I often think about when God comes back, right? And for those of you, I'm talking to you. Yeah. Those of you who have gotten your cheek implants and your whatever else implanted, and to change your entire look, shout out to Lil' Kim. Is God going to actually recognize you when he comes? Like, it's gonna be like, I'm looking for the young lady that had type 4 C hair and the medium sized lashes, yada yada yada. And you show up. Who is that? I mean, seriously, I really think about that. But if you can take it all off and still be you, then you're good to go. All right, I'm done. I did stand up 3 times in my life. What can I say?
Okay, let's see here. Okay, so we do have, let me see, Miss Tony will be joining in a little bit later if she can, because she's always doing hair. And so maybe she'll join us in the virtual feed, because I was able to share the link with her as well. So I'm over here multitasking with this conversation. And so you have a guest with you today. So we want to, we're going to be sharing the stage today. Please.
Yes. And ladies and gentlemen, I have this long shade. Y'all watch Shannon Sharp, right? But I'm not going to do it. No, Lorenzo T. Hughes, if you don't mind. I met Lorenzo T. Hughes in theater. He's an amazing actor. I'm not just saying that because you're sitting here. An amazing actor, a mindset speaker. He's a director. He's writing, filming, and did I mention all the acting? And so much more. He's certified in everything. Okay, I feel like this person knows everything. But I want you all to just join me in welcoming upstanding young man. I call him young man, a Black young man that is willing to come to the stage with nothing but positivity. Y'all give it up for Lorenzo to you.
Thank you.
Welcome to Holistic Relationships, the Type 4 Experience Conversation. So please share with us the Type 4 experience.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned like the S pearls. It's funny because 1992, I graduated from Hampton Falls Modeling and Finishing School, Montclair. During that era, like a lot of us, we grew up kind of, I'm guessing that we all kind of grew up I grew up in the 80s. During that time, I remember when I started working at the age of 16, there were certain ways that we couldn't wear our hair in corporate America. As a graduate of Nancy Brown's Modeling and Finishing School, there was a style of hair that was unacceptable in the fashion industry that they called tour. So there were certain trends they tried, you had to try to match to get these work in the industry. Yeah, I did the do wave kit, the S curls, and playing around and experimenting with that stuff. And, you know, I experienced the burn around the head, you didn't let that cream sit on there too long, or you didn't get that protective stuff around. I experienced that. Yes, I did that as well. But I grew up, if you guys remember, during the uh, um, the African symbol movement where everybody had these little African beads, symbols and stuff. So I came up around that time, and that was me. I had my beads, my African bird stick, and I was trying to embrace that finding of myself. Since then, I've grown up, matured a lot, and I was that person that I used to make fun of women that wore wigs. That was the time where they, I guess, they used that black glue, that where they glue the tracks in. Yes, that hair glue.
Don't correct him. Let
But
him
it
say
wasn't
black.
until I had a recent experience. When I say a recent experience, I'm gonna say probably maybe about 3 years ago. Had a couple lady friends that I had dated, and we would play fight and play wrestle, and they would try to hold on to their wig or whatever, or a hair piece, so it wouldn't come off. And I remember I had an experience where I told her, I said, "Look, just take your wig off so I can show you that you're not stronger than me." And she didn't want to take it off, so at this point now, I'm interested in why, and so after pressing her a little bit, she had mentioned to me the shame that she had from hair loss that she had had. And so now at that point, now I was kind of ashamed and embarrassed for the comments that I had made, and then the comments that I had made years prior to that, because what I've learned is that as most men don't understand why, and probably never will understand why women do the things that they do with their hair and go through all the trouble. I can guesstimate at a lot of different reasons, which I'll touch on here shortly. But that particular reason, that particular incident caused me to kind of investigate a little further. So I went back and had some conversations with some other women that I knew who embraced the hairpiece and the wigs and things like that. And they suffered from the same problem, hair loss. So at this point, with me having a background in clinical orthopedic work, I started looking at some things that are associated with vasoconstriction and vasodilation that can also be associated with the constriction of hair follicles and chemicals that causes these things to happen. So I started looking a little bit into it. You start looking at things like work stress, domestic stress, and all these different stressors that we put our not only ourselves through emotionally, but chemically. So when you hear the word stress, a lot of times we think of emotional stress, meaning that, you went through something within a relationship or on the job, but we don't think of the stress that we put our bodies through when we introduce foreign chemicals, foreign bodies into our bodies. We cause chemical stress within the body that causes stresses. Now, in many cases, you have to kind of be a scientist to where you understand why certain chemicals mix together with the hormones in the body that causes the body to create a reaction. We don't always know what that reaction is. Sometimes that reaction can be hair loss for some people. We don't know sometimes, why we're losing our hair. We don't know that it could be from some type of overuse or negative experience that we're going through. But I'm gonna leave it at that so people can drop some messages in the chat or whatever, or you guys can respond. And I'll touch on a little further on that, but to give somebody else a chance to kind of talk or respond.
You mentioned about that men don't understand why women wear, hair and things of that nature. And Dr. Shantae and I spoke about this because we are marketed in a way where every other culture, it's okay for them to be in America and look the way that they do. But when it comes to the Black woman, they want us to assimilate to the way, you know what I mean by that, the way they look. So our hair wasn't allowed in corporate America. And because we conform to these looks and we got accepted into corporate America, now we're walking around feeling like a peacock. You know, we've gotten, I'm being general, okay? Well, let me land this, right? So we're walking around looking like a peacock. So our stance is different. We got the job, we got the degree, we got this, we got that. And now the man is noticing you. But he didn't notice you last week when you were in between hair appointments, the same hallway, the same vestibule, the same bus stop, right? Okay, the same stoplight, White Castle drive-through, Cooper's Hall, whatever. But now that I'm in between and I've gone and gotten my look, then it's like, hey, mama. So my question is, how would a man be able to say, I don't understand why a woman would, unless they've been okay with the natural way that a woman looks. But most men, that's our experience throughout our existence.
Absolutely. And I was saying that even inside of the book, where we're doing all of this for the attention of the man, because for as long as we've known the standard of beauty that was on those magazines and everything that we saw as little girls and wedding magazines and everything that we're looking at, what we were programmed to see was beauty was not what
We look like.
well, that wasn't us. So yes, we did just kind of, okay, well, let's do this. Let me do this. And then, yeah, that's when they have your attention. And that's pretty much what I was saying earlier. You said it better than me. But when I wear my hair in a certain way, and I mean, just, pinky toe hit out across the, threshold of the door to everybody there. But then all of a sudden, when I'm like, oh, I love this. I love where my hair look here. Okay, let's go do this. And then there's like crickets. And I'm like, I know. No, they just here, so I have had that experience. Or the compliments, like maybe they didn't say anything, you wear your hair in that type 4 natural look, maybe it's a twist out, maybe it's a braid out, it's something different, because it's not always the afro.
Right.
Sometimes it's something different, and you didn't get the compliment, but as soon as, like, oh, your hair looks nice. And I'm like, what is that? So I struggled for years just being uncomfortable to a point where I went a good 4 years just not dating, not seriously, because I'm trying to find myself. And that's already a struggle, trying to love who you are and what you look like. And then you're looking for that validation, but you can't find it. So now you're like, okay, what do I do? I had a friend where I used to always tell her, don't transition or don't do anything different. Get where you're trying to get. And I think that was the other thing too with me. I wanted to get into what I call the signature look. I want to get to that look. What's my signature look with my type 4 hair? What's the style that I want to wear that when a person see me, they know that's me, that they can see me before I cut that corner. Oh, that's Tay right there. Like my signature look, I want to attract the person who sees me that way. I don't want to transition to something because that's not what attracted them. And so when she went and, decided to lack her hair and she started having problems in her relationship, I said to her, well, that's not what he was attracted to. So he didn't approach you that way. He approached you when you were looking this way. So I would recommend, and it's difficult to do, my recommendation is get where you're going and then go out there.
But I got a suggestion or a question.
Yes.
All right. Is it possible that when you have on all the adornment, that your walk is different than when you don't? Because men like confidence.
Okay.
And if you have taken all the hair out, now you're walking with curiosity versus confidence. Couldn't that be the energy that you're exuding? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, yes.
can I, if my hair is just my hair, I may be a little bit more questionable. Like, you know, but when my hair is done, don't you get into more arguments? Don't you roll your neck a little bit more? Okay, I got my lashes done. What? You know what I'm saying?
I love it. Wow. Yes, that's true. I wonder, and now I'm thinking, even when I thought that I was still, because I also tell people that when you do decide to go natural, and I say this in the book as well, that go all out the way you would have when you had the other hairstyle. Put on the makeup, put on the lashes, do all of that, but in your natural style, so that you can go out there and have that confidence. Because I doubt the same confidence, you know, will be there, even if you did have your hair traditionally straightened, or, you know, and you didn't have all those things.
Yeah.
Because there's always something about that makeup, that fresh dew, all of those, what did you call it? Adornments.
But
All
I
of
guess it's like driving a new car. You know, your old car, you know how to cut corners and back that thing up without turning all the way around. You get a new car and you're very timid with it. Dr.
Okay,
Shea,
I gotta ask you a question. I know this is your show, but what is your favorite chapter? Can you read a segment from your book and share with us what really reflects why you wrote this book? I know that there's a special sentence segment in your chapter that you can read to us.
Let's see here. Wow, what's my favorite? It's an excellent question. I love every chapter. Let's see here. I have 8 chapters in here, and I go through. I guess I would have to say chapter 1, the first one, because it was. It's titled the natural hair transition and the birth of Enchante hairline. So I had to go back in time and reflect on how things were for me. So let me find something. In here. I found it. Wow. When I was growing up, I had a vision in my mind for the way I wanted my hair to look and how I wanted to look. I wasn't the greatest in communicating that vision for others to see. I was at the age of becoming, and I wasn't into the styles of hair in my time. I'm born and raised on the south side of Chicago. My mother wanted me to look nice and get my hair done like the other girls my age. My mother got her hair done faithfully like clockwork, and she only wanted the same for me. She wanted to help build up my self-esteem. I'm not saying that I had low self-esteem, but she knew as I grew older what I would face as a part of adolescence and how scarring certain experiences could be to one's upbringing. She never knew that her push to get me in the beauty shop to prevent and protect me from hurt was the very thing that came to pass. I was quiet as a child, although most that know me or have come to know me now wouldn't think it. I didn't talk about things I experienced, I absorbed it or internalized it. I remember I had a friend growing up whose entire family, just about the entire family, was in the hair industry. She had even chosen that role to travel professionally herself. At the time of my beauty shop experience, we were both barely teenagers, and she wasn't the person doing my hair. My friend had become someone I trusted to do my hair before I went away to college. She even did my hair for my high school prom. However, just before her, I went to her cousin, and this could have been a cousin by marriage. This woman is the reason I stopped going to beauty shops. I would describe what I wanted to her, and although she do my hair as she was trained, she talked about me behind my back to others in the shop. My friend at the time was what was termed the shampoo girl, who witnessed a lot of it. I'm not saying I was just the center of conversations at that beauty shop, but I could definitely feel an energy when I would go there. I could always sense laughs that I wasn't a part of, and come to find out, I was the joke at times. My friend one day finally told me the truth about what was happening. I was hurt, and at that point decided to no longer go to that woman for services. I did not want to put my money in the hands of someone that took it for granted and would make fun of me.
Again, I'm living on the low end of the south side of Chicago, growing up in the 90s. The styles that were very popular were finger waves and cornrows, and I couldn't stand finger waves. I have pictures in that style and I hated it. I washed the stuff out of my hair. This is no disrespect of shade or any kind of attack to those women that love those styles, because to each their own. I thought women looked beautiful in those styles, actually. It just didn't fit me. I couldn't see myself in those styles. I couldn't get down with the hard, crunchy hair. I've done the finger waves with the cornrow. I've done the waterfalls with the spritz hair. I've done the stacked curls that got tiny as you went down. I've done the half long in the back with the middle of the head with the stacked curls and the asymmetrical cut in the front like T-Boz from the popular girl group TLC. I did it to fit in, but I didn't like it. By the time I was a junior in high school, I went into my own thing with hair, not realizing it wasn't, not even realizing it until writing this book. But I didn't go to beauty shops between 1995 and 2006 because of that very humiliating experience as that specific beauty shop. I didn't even try to seek other beauty shops. If I walked into a beauty shop, I'd feel some anxiety. And if people looked up at me, I feel like they were laughing at me inside. So I stayed away. I made the mental decision to do my own hair the way I wanted. And even if it wasn't fully the way I wanted, it was close. That was good enough for me. I became strong mentally about how I chose to wear my hair. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't winning any hair shows. Ironically enough, I joined my friend my freshman year in college at a hair show she was participating in. I forgot where it was, but
But you're gonna give it away. I'm at that part.
oh, you
You're
were?
gonna give it away.
So I was just finishing that
Oh,
particular
okay,
part.
okay.
Yeah. And then I was
Oh,
gonna
I don't-
stop.
Okay.
Right. You know,
Just
so
don't listen.
I was just going through this here. And I forgot where it was, but she had me looking like Halle Berry in the movie Back, minus the gold teeth. You know, and I'm so serious. I still have that picture, a picture of that. It was fun and different, and I was no longer self-conscious about my hair or my appearance. I was me and loving it. So it's been a journey.
You took me back. Like, I remember the freeze curls, and we used to call it dye, fried, and laid to the side.
Okay.
Those hard, crunchy, like you said, hairstyles. I wasn't crazy about the French waves, either, or finger waves, because they didn't last. My hair's too soft for that.
Oh.
Nothing lasts in my
As soon
hair.
as you sweat, that
I don't know what it was. My hair just didn't stay. But going through, and my grandmother was a beautician, and I'm listening to you how your mother, you said that the very thing that she taught you, and then you had to transition out of that had to be difficult because mama is mama. You know, my mother wouldn't let me go to the garbage can with a headscarf on. We didn't have bonnets. But with a headscarf on, she said, hey, you don't know who's watching you. But how do you transition even into being in today's all natural world from what you were taught to how it is now? I'm like, I feel like it should have been the other way around. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So how did you transition? Like, you went that whole period without going to see anybody because you felt humiliated. And I wanted to ask you, what did they say behind your back?
I actually don't remember exactly what was said. I mean, probably the same things that I was hearing, like, oh, she weird. You know, that's something that was very common when I was growing up. She weird. She talked like she white. You know, so it was those type of things. But I don't remember what was said. But I just remember it's
the way they made
energy.
you feel.
It
You
was
don't
the
forget
energy.
that.
No, that you don't. You never forget the way people make you feel. You may forget what they say, but you never forget how they make you feel. And it was that for me. So that period of time was like, you know, ponytails and things that I just started doing to my own head. You know, nothing special, but how I felt comfortable. You know, did the hairstyle I have now.
So that's how you transition.
Yeah, to just learning how to do my own hair and just figuring it out and being okay with being weird. Then I didn't think it was weird, but
no, I'm weird now. I'm always been weird.
So that's what it was for me.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
and my mother, she didn't make me. She just
wanted me to have this. We didn't have a lot growing up, and we didn't have a lot of money and things, and she would just want to do things to give to us so that we could have somewhat of an experience. And then she was someone that wants to shop faithfully, but she had those styles and was, and and her head was a lot smaller than mine. So, I don't think it was gonna, my head shape wouldn't have, I needed to keep my hair on my head. So I couldn't do the really short, spiky hair look. I couldn't do that. So that's how that ended up.
How did your mother accept your transition?
Well, she just let me do it. It may have been, she may have been one of the people that was like, "Oh, well, Shantae's just weird like that," and just left it like that.
Yeah.
I know she meant it out of love, and like, well, she's just gonna do what she wants to do,
Yeah.
and that's how we,
Wow.
yeah. And then she said to me one day, and she said, I kept thinking that you wanted all those things, and one day I just said, she's content the way that she is. And that was it.
Mm-hmm. We have to accept people for who they are. And I'm so glad that you shared that excerpt, because knowing where the book is written from, it starts at the beginning.
Yeah.
It's like the moment you decide to write the book and you start writing, and then it starts writing itself.
It does.
Mhm.
It really does.
Yes.
It was just about just talking about the experience and everything I had gone through, why I came out with the product line, the hair fails. I've had 4 different heads of hair. I call heads of hair, meaning I had to start over again and do this thing again because something came and I didn't know what I didn't know. And that's how it is with that type 4 hair. And I'm like, okay, let's start over again. So now don't do that. Okay, next time make that left at Albuquerque. Okay. And then, so
Right.
now I know, like, okay. And then I said, why don't you start writing down these things why don't you put it inside of a journal? Why don't you make a book and then make it a how-to guide? But even though this book, even though it's just me sharing my story, it evolved into a how-to guide. And so I started breaking things up into the chapters. How to shampoo our hair is different. I know you like to call it wearable technology, but it defies gravity. Soon as moisture hits, it goes in the opposite direction. It can't be tamed. And so the idea that we could just run our heads underwater and then it's just that's no. It's going to swell and get bigger. It's going to let in all that moisture and those strands are going to swell on your head. And how do you manage that? And the things that we've been taught or what we've seen as far as how we're shampooing, and then, and I could just say this, like, doing that on the head, that's going to cause 1,000 more tangles. And then now your detangling session, you just added 2 more hours to that. So it's a technique to even shampooing the hair, come to find out like, oh, well, this seems to be the most user-friendly way. I can get this done in 20 minutes if I do it like this.
And that breaks my heart that I've been going to different salons and they've been doing that, religiously. And then you have breakage and that they're not into hair care. And I know I'm not the host of this show.
Oh, no, I love it. I
wrote
love
down
the
some
feedback.
notes that Lorenzo said too. You were saying that why would a woman want to constrict her circulation? And it's like you have daughters and you've been, have these conversations come up? How do you, knowing this and being in the industry that you're in and having the knowledge that you have, how do you talk to your daughters about it?
Oh, we've talked a lot. The beautiful thing about it is because I've been in the industry and I've taken the classes and I've watched what women were taught when it came down to fashion and hairstyle and things like that. I had a chance to observe it. You mentioned early on in the conversation, you said something about being able to show or express yourself in your hair. When I look at both of your hairs right now, you're hiding yourself because your hair is pulled down. Like before, I couldn't see your collarbones. I still can't see the right side of your face. But Donna's hiding behind her hair, meaning that you can't see the jawline, your cheekbones, things like that. You should know that as a photographer. When a woman pulls her hair up, you can see the symmetry of her face, her neckline, and shoulders and everything. when you pull your hair down, you're hidden behind a lot of that lion's mane that you have there. You actually look wider. When you pull it up, you look a lot slender when you pull your hair up. You mentioned God or religion. I've always said your body is your gift from God. What you, from the Most High, what you do with it and how you treat it is your gift back. This is the only, you're gonna have this gift one time. What you do with this amazing piece of equipment, whether you be ashamed, whether you're ashamed of it and you're trying to change it, you know, the physical outlook of it, I mean, that's up to you. That's your body. But when you look at a lot of things that when a lot of men become a lot, not to be insulting, but we say the things that we say because we're looking at you in the degree of what pleases us. Like you say you're trying to express and show the best you. Well, you know, I was taught that even makeup was meant to accentuate your best attributes. Most people are hiding things.
We got to talk about that.
That's
So-
another topic there.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when you say that, when I look at the hairs, like you're hiding behind your hair, you're hiding behind makeup. So out of all actuality, you're lying to me with your presentation, meaning that what I see initially isn't the truth. You know, because I've seen women who've taken makeup off and hair and look like a totally different human being.
That is true.
So that was my thought behind it. I had another point that I wanted to make, but it wouldn't come up.
It'll come back. Well, you know, interesting that you say that, you know, because the entire day while I was up, it was actually up in a bun. I changed it for the show, but the hair was up and it was, you know, out of the way and it was in a bun earlier. You know, and I do tend to change it around from time to time. So it's really just, it's just different. And I mean, to your point, there are a lot of women where they have, and maybe I've heard some people say that like, it's self-expression, it's art, it's this, but I do get that. If you look like somebody completely different after it's off, then, you know, it's like, I do, yeah, that's why I said it's another topic for another day, because that one's huge when it's, because there's one thing to just, you know, put a little concealer on, that's one thing. But yes.
And I understand the art. I love it. It's beautiful. But when it becomes part of you, when it comes a part of you, period. You know, and then it's like, okay, is this like an addiction? So yeah.
Well, I honestly can say I appreciate your book, the Type 4 Experience. Simply, yes. Simply, I can't get it wrong. I'm so sorry. Simply because it's about time. Like, where was your book? I'm almost mad because your book got out 20 years ago. You know what I mean? But you had to go through it in order to write. I get it. However, this has been a struggle for us for a long time.
Yes.
It's not new. We have always been forced to assimilate in this here United States, if you will, simply because I'm also supposed to be in Africa, where it's okay for my hair to have shrinkage.
Yeah.
It's okay. But I live here in North America, and I have to make it work for me. Now, I'm glad that we have the Crown Rule. Okay, so the Crown laws have been enforced in most of our states because there was discrimination, as you well know, based on your men didn't wear locks. Please stop calling them dreads, by the way, because that was something to make it sound dreadful. They're locks. I said my PSA. But because of that, it gave us a choice. If you want to work here, boy,
Wow.
then you have to cut your hair all the way off, your crown, your glory. You know what I mean? Your power. And if you want to work here, little girl,
then you're gonna have to straighten it, burn it, process it, and look like us, and you still won't be us. You're still I won't say the word, retired.
It's interesting that you say that, because I believe that one of the things that we do what we do or have done with our hair, the hairs on our hair, beards, mustaches, is because we've kind of been molded by society that's been. We've been told what's beautiful. And I believe, and I think when I say this, I'm gonna be right when I say this. Speaking as a Black man, when I walk in the room, I believe I am 100% man. I am the true representation of a man, meaning that amongst other men of other culture, I am 100%, and I have extra than every other person has. I look at our women, it's the same thing. When she walks into the room, she is 100% woman, meaning that she is everything and more of what every other person has. We have extra of everything. It just is. And there's an intimidation factor. So that's why when you see us walk into these different rooms, we are expected to alter what we have, or to hide it, or cover it up. You can't wear this, cover that up, cut this off. You can't wear this like that. Because I remember growing up in the 90s, where they have the rule where I know me and hair touch our neck, where they were wearing like cornrows, but they still had the rock and roll guys who had their hairstyle. It was accepted. That was accepted.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know
that. Yeah, I didn't.
No, you couldn't have.
I know we couldn't have it. They just really just recently being able to wear the beard in corporate America was starting to become more accepted. Because we couldn't wear the beard or goatee. Had to be clean shaven. That was just the rule.
I thought that was just in the military.
Mm-hmm. And it still lingers around though, in certain areas. Clean shaven. Because it's the intimidation. Like I said, man, I walk into the intimidation over there. You know, he's a beard. He looks woke, like he understands what we did all these years to him. You know, it's like this intimidation factor. So I think that's part of the molding of why we've gotten into the habit of changing and trying to be acceptable in the rooms that where we have been unacceptable.
That's definitely a theory. And then with the media, you know, those Just For Me commercials, that perm box, that, you know, like, I used to see that all the time. And so you did think that was the way you were supposed to look.
Yeah.
You did think that. But it was time. It was time. It was time for it to come out. And with some of the clips that I have, you know, on the back of it, my author picture that I have, I remember doing a video that day. And I just had to because I just felt excited about it. It's like, oh my God, everybody. I went out in my afro and the air touched my scalp and it was just, I was like, I felt so free. And then the wind blowed and I didn't have to worry about it. I wasn't worried about the trips.
It was about to rain.
You know, right. And then it rained and I'm like, okay. It was a day, and it was a day, and it was liberating. I felt free. I had never felt so free. And that's when I said, "Oh, right, it's time. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it."
So where's your book being sold? May I grab it?
Absolutely. So real, mine is the author group. You know, it's for me to, you know, those are the real copies. The book is on Amazon. It's available as an ebook and a paperback. We're working on the Audible version of it now. And realizing
Are you speaking here?
I will narrate.
will
I
narrate.
will.
I will
narrate it. And realize that had us to do a few extra things for the audiobook. But nonetheless, that will be coming to. I'm someone that likes to listen to books while I'm driving as well, and so I want to be able to give people that experience as well, to be able to hear the book, get the book, for children, your grandchildren. Definitely from parents, mothers, and fathers that have to do the little girl's hair, that have texture hair. This is going to be, just as one of my favorite motivational speakers said, that when you tell your story, and in telling your story, can be someone else's survival guide. And so that's why I said, all right, it's coming for the Type 4 Experience, memoirs of my Afro Kinky Curly hair experience.
Well,
There it is.
right here. Make sure you go to Amazon.com and look for the Type 4 Experience by Dr. Shante. That's Shante. She did not ask me to do this.
I love it.
And you purchased it. How much is on Amazon?
The ebook was $8.99 and the paperback is $16.99.
All right, there you have it.
Absolutely. And so before we cut out, we have 3 minutes left, but before we cut out, I do want to put on everyone's mind what's coming. The Type 4 Experience National Summit. We will be touring 6 cities across the country, coming together, talking about the Type 4 Experience in an all-day event of workshops with a nice booming hair fashion show at the end, all natural hair. We're talking about Type 4 hair. So definitely, hairstylists, natural enthusiasts, get at me. We're going to take this all across the country, and we're going to let others share their Type 4 experience for the men, women, and children. So that's about our time for today. Where did the time go? My goodness. We're having fun. But I will certainly see you all next Wednesday, same time, for Holistic Relationships. We have a lot of different topics. Definitely drop in the comments, send me any messages about topics that you would like to cover. And for some of the other ones, I will be reaching out for panel discussion. So we have some topics that we've already discussed, or we want to bring people on and then have more conversations about these things, because this is about having more positive outlooks, different perspectives, being able to reshape our own perspective a little bit so that we come out of this better than what we entered. We have something that we can pass on to the generations behind us, even our own, and maybe the ones who weren't might learn something too. And that is the whole point of holistic relationships, so that we can all come out with better outcomes and better, more holistic relationships. I will see you all next Wednesday, and until next time.